Hello, my dear viewer. Good to have your company. Good morning. Thank you so much for choosing the National Broadcast Club. My name is Sandra Kahunde, coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. We continue celebrating the women in all their various spaces. That is what we do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from the hour of 10 a.m. up until 11 a.m. And I believe you had a great conversation all through from the hour of 6:30 with the big team that has been here for Good Morning Uganda. Well, for the women out there, please stay put. This morning, I am joined by an author, a blogger, a writer. She's going to share lots to do with that particular space and how can you tap into it if you're out there and you're trying to live a purposeful life and you really feel that being an author is something that really help you put your best foot forward. This morning, I am joined by Kenlyn Nakaye. She's here to share with us lots to do with that particular space. And what does it take for one to write a book and publish it? Yes, and is she getting the returns? We're here to find out for this very episode. And hopefully, if God allows, she'll be joined yet again with another guest this morning. Keep watching. Welcome once again. Kenlyn, you're most welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Sandra. Thank you for having me. I've been okay, yeah, and I'm happy to be back on this program. This is my second time. Yeah.
Well, you are an author, just thinking. An author, a blogger. It rhymes so well and it flows so well. Just let the viewer get to understand a blogger, a writer, an author, all in, is it one category?
Okay, the denominator is writing. So when you write, you publish your work in different formats. It can be in blog posts. Blogs are kind of short reads that you put on a website or a social media platform. Then books are usually in print or even soft copy. You can write speeches, you can write film. So basically it's writing, but then you broadcast your work in all those different formats. Yes.
So for you to be there, well-placed, what was closer to you? Did you start your journey way back in school, or maybe did you have like a role model, or you have a writer in the family and you're like, this is the path I'm supposed to be taking as well?
Well, my journey is a bit unconventional because I started working at 15 and I was really doing just anything to bring in the money. But I think it came out of frustration because I wasn't getting the success I needed with everything I was doing, modeling, beauty pageants, waitressing, and even with my telecommunications engineering profession, like I wasn't really satisfied financially. So for me, it was like more about praying to God. I'm like, God, what can I do with my life? Like, what is that one thing that you've given me, that I'm gifted at, that I can make an impact with, but also, you know, earn from, because I'm always all about making an impact. So that is how my journey started. Yeah.
So looking back, are you well placed, or do you have any regrets, or you're like, if it wasn't this, I would have done something else?
I would say it's not been easy, especially for me. Like, we don't have a writer in the family or a journalist, actually, because I started out in 2017 and it was so difficult in those first 2 years because you try to look up to others and other people are talking about how they started when they were young. They have this role model and you're just starting now. It's not even what you've studied in school, but it's been a journey of growing, and I'm so glad that along the way I met companies that even gave me a full-time job to be their staff writer. So all those experiences have been reinforcing that, okay, there's something you can do with this, just keep going. Yeah.
Okay, how is the writing culture so far with the networking you've had with the different people who have given you an opportunity? What do you think about our culture right here?
I think,
of course, you know the saying that goes, if you want to hide something from the Africans.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that saying has been there, that writers don't read, because even when I'm writing my books, my writing consultants try to tell me to be brief, but the advantage we have in this generation is like media can be transmitted in so many ways. So instead of making someone read a whole book, you can keep getting small captions for them and maybe post on Facebook or social media or in blogs. So even if they don't get a whole 500-page book and read, they have read something at the end of the day. So it's a, for me, it's a growing culture where people are reading and writing, and yeah, I think we should just keep going. We will grow. Yeah.
Okay, have you been embraced? How is the response so far with the kind of writing that you have? Because I mean, blogging is different, and then also publishing a book is also different. Yes, how is the response so far?
I think now with publishing a book, you're always writing maybe about a particular topic. So for example, my current book, Journey to Wholeness, my niche is single ladies, and it's all about, you know, getting into relationships, what is your own mindset. So if I can target just those people, because that's the audience I wrote to, it becomes easy than when you're just trying to just sell a book to anyone who cares to buy a copy. So with publishing, it's more about the audience that you're writing to. If you can seek them out, the book sells. And of course, just like how these other talents are, singing and all, you have to do a lot of promotion, you know, to get people to understand what is in the book, why the book. You have to do the tours, the speaking engagements. So you might end up not selling a lot of books, but do a lot of talks, which at the end of the day is the focus. You want to get the message to the people. So yeah, it still works. And then with the blogging, now like currently some of my blogs are cross-posted on Nile Post. So it's still so much about reaching your audience, finding all these different ways that you can reach them, and just do the work of reaching them. Yeah.
Well, okay, it sounds tough, but an exciting journey.
Yeah.
How has it been like?
It's been, first I'm passionate.
Is it fulfilling? Are you getting the return so far?
Yes, I'm passionate. Like I told you, I got the reinforcements I needed, like some of those companies hiring me and paying me a salary to write. Like that was a good reinforcement. It's work, but it's fulfilling because I like it. I know that this is my gift. I'm creative in this. So yes, that passion and creativity helps me to handle, to cushion all the other things that come with it. But I think also those difficulties come in other spheres of life, really. Yeah.
Okay, I am sure in your field, of course, with the people that you're engaging with, you are an inspiration, and I'm thinking there's so many young writers out there who still want to come up and be just like a Kellen out here. What advice would you share with them?
I think start where you are. When I first started writing, I didn't really start with a book. I started with just posting posts on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and then I did a website where I was putting all these little insights that I get. But also as a writer, you have to read a lot. Yeah, you really can't write if you don't read a lot. It feeds your grammar, it feeds your inspiration. And also get around a group of like-minded people. You have to find other writers and collaborate with them, or like make them be a part of your circle. So yeah, it helps you on the journey because they inspire you as well. Yeah.
Well, the book that you're holding, you talked about, you're thinking about the single ladies out there.
Yes.
What are some of the other exciting stories that you think about writing when it comes to the blogging itself?
When I started out, my niche was personal development. Because I had also suffered so much not knowing the purpose of my life and my gifts and trying all these many things, just chasing money. I think I learned a lot that I wanted to share, because you know, when we don't know who we are, we waste a lot of time, and by the time you wake up, you're old. There are opportunities that are only available when you're in your 20s, 30s. So personal growth and personal development is my other niche. But also as a woman, I love lifestyle, I love home organization. I've written blogs on that as well. I love fashion. I've done a few blogs on, you know, how to dress modest, how to pick your clothes for your shape. So yes, I'm an all-round. I'm more like all about lifestyle, but my best niche is personal development. Yes.
And how do you stay motivated to keep up with those trends and not to bore the readers or your fans at the end of the day?
Recently, I've learned something. I've learned to write on trend. Sometimes you have to look around and see what is happening and then try to write on that. Like recent, there is so much catastrophe in the fashion world, fast fashion, these cheap little clothes that, you know. So you look around and just decide, you know what, maybe this will trend, let me write about this. Or also, you know how COVID came and we all started working from home. So some of those niches, like so many people are working from home. So how do you motivate someone to work from home and, you know, be able to put in that time without a supervisor? But then also you write about things that you're interested in and try to look for other people who have those same interests and then share. So yeah, it's more about passion, but also looking around and see what are people consuming right now and how can I add my 2 valuable cents. Yeah.
You know, some people tend to fear being closer to journalists. Like, I want to share my conversation or maybe a story. It might even be just sharing, you know, you're part of the team, or maybe you're having this particular chat going through. They're like, before you know it, it will be out there into the space. What are some of those experiences that you look up to, or the specific details for those around you, like in the communities? If it's personal development, what are some of those experiences that you definitely would wish to write about or you'd really want to put across? Because I know people would be staying far from you. They're like, Kellen might write about that.
Okay, what I do with my writing, unless I really have permission from the owner of the story, I really try to, if it's about someone, I really try to make it as fictional as possible. Like, you can't even tell that this is Sandra. But also my writing, I'm just yet to incorporate interviewing others and bringing real life stories in my writing and blogging. So I have not yet faced that problem. But even when I write, unless if I'm writing about my own personal experiences, I don't mind getting vulnerable and share, because I have learned from that, so I know. But if it's your story, I really need that much permission, or at least to cover it as much, so that not even a person that knows you will trace and tell that I'm talking about Sandra. Yes.
Well, I know you've done a lot of writing, and you have a number of books that you've written. I know it's really exciting. This is a sensitive topic. You have to be really careful with the literature you bring out, because you cannot just rub it off. If someone has read it, if someone has kept it, it's evidence enough. And with those various books that you've been part of, that you've published, what are some, okay, let me start with the challenges so far. Not before we get to the exciting ones, the projects that you've been a part of. What are some of the challenges you've experienced?
Actually, I've now published 2 books, but with my first book, the biggest challenge was I was writing about personal development and personal growth, and I was really new to the market, but I happened to be going through some personal financial challenges. So I kept feeling like it's like people are going to see through the imperfections I have, and then they will not buy into my work. I wasn't really talking about money, but I had my view of a writer. I always felt like you have to be perfect, you know, like those New York Times best-selling authors that we read about. Their lives are usually so rosy, they have the money, and now I was just transitioning from one job to just getting to writing full-time. My businesses were failing, so I literally would sit on my manuscript. I'm like, no, I think I'm fake. I can't talk about this. So that challenge of feeling like because you're teaching a subject, there's this expectation that people have on a teacher, like what is behind her? Does she have it all together? You know, now like even when I wrote about singleness, there's, of course, before you know, people will trying to see in your life, who is her boyfriend? How old is she? Is she writing about this because she feels like, you know? But at the end of the day, it's not always about trying to influence you to my lifestyle or what. Like, these are universal truths. You know, if it works everywhere and I can talk about it, it doesn't mean that if I'm struggling with it in my life, then I'm not worthy of, you know, making a mention of it. Because I'll testify, as I wrote this book, I didn't even want to write this book because I kept feeling like, no, that area is not my area. I don't even want to go there. But as I was writing it, I was actually also learning a lot of things about myself. So yeah, that challenge of having to be so thinking that you have to be so perfect, especially as an author, because we are in a teaching category, is really real. But all aspiring writers and authors, all I can say is you don't really have to be perfect. If you've learned that one lesson and you can teach it, even if you're still struggling, it doesn't make the knowledge invalid. Yes.
Like making everything look so cream.
Yes.
One reads the book and they're like, wow, she must be living a luxurious life. She must be in those lovely apartments, living an exciting kind of life. Speaking about excitement, what are some of those moments or projects that you've been a part of? Yeah, that really stood out for you.
Now, like even being here, talking about this book, like it's exciting, because some of the things I used to, you know, pray about as an author, you really want to reach your audience, you really want to have the speaking engagements. Every time I sell a copy of my book, it's really exciting, and even more exciting when someone gives me a review and they're like, wow, it's going to change people's lives. Like, it just fuels me, and then I keep going, because you know, writing in itself is not so much a conventional profession, at least in Africa. Like, people listen when you say I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor, but when you start saying I'm an author, I'm a writer, everyone is weighing you money-wise, what? So it can be so lonely and filled with anxiety whether you're really going to make it. But every time I get those, this is good, come and talk about, you know, this topic to our group of people, it's really exciting and motivating. Yeah.
Well, one would really believe the literature and they would wish to follow it. Yeah. They're like, no, it's supposed to be like this. They will definitely cram it. They use it as maybe their profile, you know, outlook or things like that. And they would believe it and live a life of that particular literature maybe they came across. And today, in the digital era that we live in, when it comes to the writers and the bloggers, with the involvement that is happening, do you see opportunities coming up for you, especially for the content creators?
I think now the future is so much about content creation. Like I said that earlier, you just need to know your audience, because now there is so much information to consume, and everyone can't take in everything. So every time you're pushing content, know your particular audience. Like, I'm writing to single moms, and look out for those. I think you're always going to be more successful if you can niche down. Like, even me, sometimes you want to do it all. You want to talk about food, makeup, clothes, what, but you have to, okay, even if you talk about all of those things, but for every piece of content, fight for looking for your particular audience, and not just having as many numbers or as many likes, because in the end, for me, a quality content creator is someone whose content adds value. It's not just about clout and holding people onto you. Even if you have 100 people, but they are consuming your content and they are thinking, you know what, Kellen is changing our lives, and they are devoted, and it's really making a difference. So I think that's what it should be about. But yeah, the future is content in every way. Yeah.
Okay, for the viewers watching, good to have your company. Thank you for choosing the National Broadcaster. We're here to celebrate women and talk of discussion, much as we're looking at the women in business. Our focus with our guest for the day, Kellen, this morning, we're looking at the life of an author and the opportunities to tap there, and writing and blogging. There's so much that comes through with it, especially when they say you can break, these writers can really break us, and they can really push you up there. So there's a lot that goes through. We want to find out if you're out there and you want to tap into this space. We want to get to know from her if it's a space worth thinking about if you're out there. My name is Sandra and we're coming to you live from Broadcast House, Nile Avenue. Well, Kellen,
Yes.
I love your story, quite exciting and amazing. Are there more women in your field that you've come across, or with the support and the networking and the different bloggers that you've come across? Are there more women, African at that?
Like here in Uganda, because I've only worked in this Ugandan space, I've really worked with just women, because my writing consultant has been a lady, and you know, my other accountability group, like they are all ladies who have been writing books, writing speeches. So because I've encountered mostly women, I would say yes, women are coming up, but then on a broader scale, like I don't see so many women's articles in newspapers as I see for men. Yeah, so I think maybe we should push to come out more in the open. But even in the bookstores, I see so many of my friends' books there, and it's really inspiring. Ladies are really writing. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I believe you have a following. I know you have a following. I'm just getting to understand, how do you engage with the readers and maybe build a community around your work?
Well, for now, like on my social platforms, like if someone came and commented on my work, like on YouTube, I take time to respond. And then for me, I have a website and I have an email, so I openly tell my readers to, you know, write to me and tell me, especially those who read the books, and, you know, give me their honest review, and we can have a chat in there. And I really keep trying to motivate them to, you know, be about a life of purpose. Much of my content, if you check my Instagram and Facebook, you will always find something about, you know, your purpose, your destiny moves, get away from distraction. So I'm majorly always trying to give them value, because I'm not so much about the clout. I'm not so much about, I want so many followers, I want so many likes. I'd rather bring value on this platform. Yeah, so that's how I try to engage with them. I'm always bringing something that will add to them. Of course, you add in a little bit of fun. We can't be serious all the time. So yeah, that's how I run my platforms.
Okay. And what's the best tip for someone out there, the young aspiring bloggers? Because there's really a lot to write about. Fashion, food, relationships. You're looking at the single mothers. But some of the writing tips one can really, the basics for a young aspiring blogger.
I think the first tip is just start. Like, you don't have to have everything. Like, okay, for me, I have a website, I have a YouTube channel, I have Instagram, I have platforms where I go to speak, Rotary, but I didn't start with all those things. I didn't even have a website when I started. So just start. And the advantage we have is, like, it's been made so easy for us to share our information. Like, you can freely open a Facebook and start writing. Freely open an Instagram and start writing. But as a writer, you have to read, you have to be a researcher. There's nothing that is very disturbing if you write about a topic and you're less informed, and then now your readers are informing you more. So just those two things: start and then read, research. Yes, and then get around other like-minded people. So if you want to write and you don't have friends who are writers, it's time to make some. You can start with me, come on my Instagram, and yeah. we can start there. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. Maybe something else. Okay, fine. Before we get to that something else, for those who have to follow you up on Instagram, should we just look out for Kellen?
Kellen, Kenlin, or Kellen Nakaye. My handles are Kellen Kenlin, but even if you type my name Kellen Nakaye, my platforms will come up. Yeah.
Okay, you're encouraging someone to just start. Start, read, research, and be there. Get closer to people who are doing that, as people who are doing that particular beat, and stay there to better yourself. What is keeping Kellen there?
Like I said, for me, I take it as my life's work. Remember, I told you I was doing so many things with myself, you know, just for the sake of earning money. But then I wanted to bring value. I said, you know what? I'm not even earning all the money I want out of these things, but there's something I'm good at. And you know, it has always been said that the most highly paid people are paid to do what they love to do, what they are naturally good at. So what is keeping me here is I take it as my life's work. Like, I don't have any other option. Of course, I do other things like business and what, but my creativity is in this. So I keep at it, and sometimes you earn, sometimes you don't, but it's a passion. It's something you have. It's like waking up and you have to open your eyes and see. Like, even if all the things you're seeing are not the best, but the eyes have to work that way. So the passion and the faith that it's my life's work is really keeping me in here. Yeah.
Okay, so what makes a very good writer or a blogger for that matter?
I think what makes a good writer is, depending on the language that you're writing in, first of all, use the language well, because you're communicating, so you have to be clear in your communication. And then, because it's also an art, as you grow, you learn to be a bit artistic. I don't write the same way now that I used to write in 2018. Someone has taught me something. You have to be a bit artistic, a bit entertaining, but still staying in the message. So there's a lot of little components to put together, but whichever language, English, Uganda, use the language well, and then make your message captivating. Now, like especially here in Africa, where they say people don't want to read, you have to work at that creativity of what is going to hold someone onto my piece of work. And then also, if you're a non-fictional writer, like I am a non-fictional writer, always try and be a bit vulnerable, like chip in your story a bit and also use other people's stories. It's so difficult to teach a lesson that is plainly don't this. You have to add stories. Like, it gives people something to relate to, even if it's not your own story, but add stories so that people can relate. I feel like people will keep reading a piece that they can relate to. Yes.
Okay, you write about so many things, and
Yes.
she must really be good about research. Like you earlier on mentioned, carrying on with the different trends and of course keeping your audience abreast and your readers. How do you balance your writing, more so managing your blog? Because the others were like, ha ha ha, baby, you know, it's tough, especially for the bloggers, them standing out and shining with so many followers, regardless of what they're putting across out there, but they're regarded as tough. You get it. So for you to keep up with your writing, balancing it and managing your blog, how do you do that?
Well, okay. When we talk about blogging, most people think just about writing, but now there is also video. So for me, I try to be organized. I'll first write my entire piece of work, then I decide how I'm going to share it. If it's going to do video, then I get the part that is going to do video, the part that is going to do reels, the part that is going to do Facebook posts. But I think also planning is key, because you can't be scattered in your mind, so you have to plan. You have to plan your work, and then decide on where you're going to share. If you're going to be a TikTok blogger, like decide on that and then learn that platform and then work with what works with that platform. I had refused to join TikTok for quite a long time, but then when I started doing YouTube, especially for my book, I had to do it. So again, it's keeping in with the trends, but then knowing your niche very well so that you don't jump into everything there is, because now it's easy to become disorganized when you do that. Yeah.
Kindly, let me just have a copy of this. I need for the viewer to really understand what it's all about. A journey to wholeness. That is, yes, journey to wholeness. My camera person can have that right. That is the book, Kellen Kenlin. That is an amazing book that she has in store for us. It's about the young women seeing marriage as the ultimate achievement in life. And this is mainly because marriage has been portrayed by both social media and society as the aspect of life that women should prioritize above all else. And most women think that it is only through marriage that they are considered significant. Well, in her book, Journey to Wholeness, Learning to Value Yourself as a Single Lady, it opens up about how this mindset brought so much hurt in her life, and she found healing by accepting the true love of her Heavenly Father, even as she continues to walk along the road of singlehood. Well, that is a journey to wholeness for you. Just a brief about what it's all about. And behind, of course, you have the contact, right? And how you can link up with Kellen. That is, as far as she says, you who wants to start, it's better to associate with the writers out there. Quite interesting, a story behind. Well, Journey to Wholeness is an insightful book that will teach you how to find inner healing through the love of God and help you learn to live a purposeful, fulfilling and happy life as a single woman. That is a Kellen for you, our guest for the day. For the young lovers out there of literature, of poetry, you want to do blogging, Journey to Wholeness, learning to value yourself as a single lady, Kellen Nakai. Those who have just joined us, thank you so much. We celebrate women every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from the hour of 10 a.m. up until 11. And like I mentioned earlier on at the start of this episode, that by God's grace, hopefully if time allows, we shall be joined by another brilliant lady to inspire us this morning. And I'm having Betty. She's from Botabika Development and a skilling organization. It's good to have soft skills as women, empower ourselves, pave way for the young generation, and of course, impact the communities that we live in. All this and much more helps to shape us into better people. And joining me on set, away from Kellen, I am having Betty this morning. You're most welcome. You can greet the viewer who is watching. Bababuzeko abakutegere.
Abalabi ba UBC sanyuse nnyo okubeerako wano ku UBC TV yaffe eya Uganda. Amannya agange nze Nambejja Betty, abatuuze b'ewaffe Butabika bampita Bitaala bya City.
Tubulire ku bitaala.
Ffe bwe tubeera ebitaala bibeera byaka.
Bina kala nyingi, simanya kyenvu, simanya...
Yange yeeyogerera nga bw'ondaba nti bibino byaka ate nga tulinawo ne kano.
Oh, well, that's Betty for you. Nambejja, very exciting lady. And she's from Botabika Development and Skilling Organization, helping the young people out there into various skills. She's going to be letting us know those skills. Yes.
Abantu bazzenga bamanyi nti abantu bakola ebintu mu straws. Kati ffe twavaayo nga be Butabika ne tugamba obuveera bufuusa akaveera everywhere. Obuveera buyitirivu. Kati ffe waliwo ekibiina ekyajja ne kitusomesa bakiyita Arocha. Batusomesa just kola bu wallets. Naye ffe ne tugaziya ku bwongo. Kati akaveera twakafuula ekyomuwendo. Nti obuveera bwaffe buno tulukamu ebintu bingi. Mwana tate nga biri long lasting. Nti oyinza okugula ekintu kino ng'asaaga n'ogamba buno buveera bulijjo bwe tukozesa n'ate mwana twekyewuunyisa akaveera kano kaviiramu ddala ebintu ebirungi ate buli ekintu ekyo lwe kiddugala n'okyoza ekintu kidda bupya katuyina ensawo zaffe zino omanyi nze ndi musawo okuva mu kampuni ya Fukanga Healthcare Uganda batugamba nti omuntu kasita otuuka mu myaka 40 ebyobuvubuka oba obivuddemu ng'odda mu byabakulu ensawo gy'obeera nayo erina okuvaamu eddagala lya pressure eddagala lya sukaali biki kati ne tusalawo tukolere bamaama baffe ensawo zino nsawo nnungi nnyo nsawo esitulira ddala buli kimu naye ng'eno ensawo eva mu kaveera eno ensawo buli lweyingiramu enfuufu oyoza bwoza akaveera kano koolaba tekakaddiwa yensonga lwaki nti ne bwe kaba kagudde ku ttaka ettaka eryo tolina kyosimbako nekibala nenkuba ne bwetonya ekoma kaveera kuno teyingira mu ttaka kati ffe ne tuvayo ne tugamba katutandika okukolamu ebintu bino ebintu bino tubiruddemu nti waliwo gavumenti we yatuukira ekiseera nga egenda kuwera obuveera njukira waliwo omwami akola mu pipeline bamuyita mwami Moses twamukolera nnyo okulaba nti akaveera kasigalawo era olwanirira kampuni endala kati ffe kasita yamanya nti tukola ebintu bino mu buveera yalwana nnyo okusomesa abantu nti bo gwe bw'osuula obuveera waliyo abaana ababulonda ne babuzaayo ku kampuni ne bafunayo akasente kati ate ffe tetusuula ffe tukolamu products zino tukola products nyingi tukolamu omukeeka guno baby munyumirwa ogenda out beach
mpulira
hey kati olaba akakeeka kano mu kifo ky'okwala leesu wansi akakeeka kakano amazzi tegayitamu
kati olwo ne katwala bbanga kyokola omukeeka ogwo gwonna
sweetheart nze bw'oba ngambye nti njagala kintu kino otulo ffe twatuvaako ffe tetwebaka bw'oba olina ekyokukola era olaba ne bino tubiruka ne bibeerawo nze neebaka sawa 8 sawa 9 okiraba ate emisana nga nina okubeera mu field noonya abalwadde ab'okujjanjaba ekiro nembeera ku bintu bino
mukeeka ensawo
etukola ne
amazing products that are here out of the polythene bag. Yes, that's the
tukola
time.
akatiini kano nga bw'okalaba kaliko n'ekisaanikira kyako tikatiini kano abakyala tubeera n'ebyokwewunda bingi you can put your jewelry inside so that nti ebintu byo bibeera safe
Soko kabikuleko omuntu akalabe bulungi nnyo alabe beauty yaako
then owa office okumiramu business cards zo kuba bulobera mu office o receiving abantu bangi buli omu nakuwa business card ye so okumakinga office yo clean ate omuntu ekifo w'omusanze olabira obuyonjo bwe so business cards zo n'ozikuumira wano tuyinawo
Well, good still watching. Our guest for the day has a lot to display for us.
Tuyina ne buwaleeti bwaffe abakyala tukwata zino ensawo ennene nti ensawo eno oteekamu kano kawaleti so that nti sente z'oba ozikuumidde wamu omanyifu abakyala maaso awo ate n'olyoka otandika okufulukuta onoonya sente mu nsawo otaddemu ebintu bingi naye ojja buyo obujja waleti eno ng'ossaamu sente zo kati wali bw'otuuka omusasula osumulwa busumuluzi waleti ng'ojjamu sente ng'omuwa toleekana na batakisi bali abaana ffe tubazaala naye balalu nga kuyitirawo eri amukadde kasita omulwisa naye kati wano buli kimu kibeera oke olumugamba nti maaso awo gwe ng'ojjayo waletiyo ojjamu sente ng'omuwa kiba kitwanguyira nti tukola bingi tukola table mats zino
Yes, amazing.
Twakizuula nti abantu baffe bakozesa nnyo table mats zino eziva ebweru kati tulwanyisa naffe ebintu ebiva ebweru naffe tubenga tutunda ebyaffe bye twekoledde kati tukola table mats zino mu kaveera
obuveera bw'enjawulo bwonna
kati nno to make things worse or easy kana akaveera ka mugaati ne buno obwero obwa supermarket
so buli kaveera kabakolera
buli kaveera kalina omugaso ffe tetusuula kaveera
Mubukuŋŋaanya mutya olwo mugenda ne mubunoonya
obuveera
mu
buno
kasasiro?
nedda tetulonda ku kasasiro kasasiro obabuzaayo mu kampuni kati ffe batumanye nti tukola ebintu mu buveera oli bw'ashoppinga ekintu takasuula ng'akatereka bw'amala ng'akakuleetera era tugezezaako nnyo okulaba nti tusomesa abantu baffe okukola ebintu bino tulabe nga tulwanyisa ku buveera obukendeeza okubusaasaanya nti bwe tuba tukendezeza obuveera buno busaasaanya nga buli omu alina kyakola sisuubira nti omuntu anaanoonya omulimu ng'alina omulimu gw'omu mutwe nedda
tulina okutaasa obutonde
nga tukola ebintu bino
kakati ekibiina ekyo abakyala bali eyo abalyagadde okwegattako nga mbutuufu bakwatibwako ebintu byanjawulo birungi nnyo nga nabo baagala bayige bakola batya balina kunoonya butabika
tubadde tuvuddeyo nga tukola ebintu byaffe bino naye nga twemaketinga tugenda ku myoleso era twebaza nadde okusinga egyo egya Buganda bategeka emyoleso ne batuyita tugendayo ne twolesa batulaze ne ku TV ez'enjawulo naye lwakuba nti abantu tebanaba kuvaayo bulungi naye ng'ebintu babiraba era ne babyagala era oliwo omugamba nti kino ekintu munne nkikola mu kaveera
kalabika bulungi nnyo waali kambadde oli n'akategeera
omuntu takkiriza nti bino ebintu biva mu kaveera era amala kukwatako n'akakasa nti munnange kaveera naye nga akaveera kaviiramu ddala ebintu ebirungi era nkubiriza buli muntu okubeera nti ayiga ebintu bino kale twatandikako ne mu masomero tutandise okugendayo lwakuba nti muno oba tosobola kuva eno nti nzize basomesa tulina emitendera gye tuyitamu okulaba nti tutuuka ku ssomero eryo waffe butabika natandike waliwo essomero baliyita Bina Islamic Secondary School nagendayo abaana ne mbasomesa okukola obuveera kola ebintu mu buveera naye waliwo n'omuzadde omu eyasituka najja ku ssomero ng'ayomba omwana ayitiriza okunsaba obuveera omwana ayitiriza okunsaba obuveera bwe mutusaba buli lunaku bwaki yagenda okujja good enough yansanga nange mwendi mu kilasi ndi mu kusomesa era director yamuleeta buleesi mu kilasi n'alaba abaana omulimu gwe baali bakola era omuzadde yaddayo nga musanyufu omusomesa n'agamba olabye yaddayo nga musanyufu kati ekyo nekibawaliriza okubeera nti tusomesa abaana abo then ne bamala abazadde ne babayita ne bajja ne balaba buli mwana kyakola ki
babawagira
bwe batyo
gye mutambulira eyo
babigula kuba olaba
ebbeeyi yonsaamusaamu
ebbeeyi nsaamusaamu yeyo omuntu owa bulijjo tetuseera nnyo badde ebintu bitekinga time birumya ekifuba n'omugongo bw'oba otudde nnyo kuba naffe tubanga wa office tosobola biruka ng'oyimiridde era olina kutuula wansi
n'okkalira n'otereera
n'otuula n'oluka kati ogenda okuvaawo ng'akagongo kano okawuliramu okiraba tubanga wa office naye nga tubitunda ku bbeeyi esaanidde buli muntu gy'asobola okukola ki ate ffe abakyala nsosowaza nnyo abakyala nti twagala nnyo ebintu ebiri unique
mulembe gw'abakyala
okiraba nti ensonga lwaki oli bw'alaba ensawo ng'eno twagala nnyo ekintu ky'onaakwata ng'oli wekka oli n'agikwata nga buli omu n'amubuuza wagigulawa ebyo bye twagala
nga kya Betty yekka
kati awo era nange neneewaana nti made by Betty
by Uganda build Uganda
exactly okiraba
wow mulimu gw'amaanyi gwa ttendo wow great work that the ladies are doing that's other lady for this morning just a reminder she's called Nabeja Betty from Botabika Development and Skilling Organization. They're recycling the polythene bags. I know it's been an issue when it comes to environment, and women are standing out. And we appreciate the government that is also putting up certain projects or initiatives to support these women when it comes to environment and support them. Tino Kutaso Butonde, well, she has been displaying some of the different products that they make out of these polythene bags and reaching out to the communities, especially the schools, to make sure everyone gets a soft skill in life to earn a living and also top up when it comes to our economy. I just want to get to have her contacts. If you're out there and you're interested and you want to learn more when it comes to skilling, Betty,
yes,
muntu akufuna atya osobola okugaba enamba yo oba muine enamba ya
nsobola ogigaba kuba kati ffe kye tuliko kulwanyisa buveera ate abantu baffe bafune ebyokukola nti oli ne bw'aba akola bw'oba onnyuse ng'olina obudde bwo awaka osobola okwekolera omukeeka. Tugenze tukati ne tamwe neweddeko waliwo amasomero gali eyo ku Lwemityana bayitayo Mbazzi tusomesezaako ku primary ne secondary. Abantu baffe bagenze bava waliyo ekibiina kati ate kyetukolagana nakyo bakiyita World bagezezzaako nnyo okutumaketinga kuba ebintu bino abantu babyagala omuntu yeewuunya akaveera kano aka bulijjo n'akubuuza oli nti newe kagwako eryanda tekajja n'omubuuza nti eyo ensawo gy'okutte yo bwegwako eryanda tejja
mpulira
olugoye bwe lugwako eryanda terujja. Ekirungi ky'akaveera kano nti ko eryanda ne bwe liba liguddeko liyita mu buyisi paka wansi ate lisiiringa kuba kano kaveera lisiiringa era kaba tekayulise kati ate gwoba otaddemu design yiyo nga ggwe eyo y'ekituli ekyo
sikwata muliro kubumbujja
kuba skilling eno nti kaba kavudde mu kaveera kaba kafuuse matiriyo y'ekintu ekyo ky'oba okoze.
Kati keetaaga ekyalaani
okola ebintu byaffe nga biri neat nti bwe tumaliriza okukaluka tugula kabayidingi kano kati nentwala ku kyalaani ebyalaani ebikola engatto ne bituteerako kabayidingi kano awo okuba nti ebintu byaffe biba neat.
Akanamba
enamba yange eri 0779 37 46 21 0779 37 46 21 ne 0704 18 28 79 0704 18 28 79.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, interesting, an episode that we have for the day. Good to know you're watching and you're choosing the national broadcaster. I still have Kellen in studio with me for the lovers of literature, those who want to stand out and shine as writers, as bloggers, and as authors. She's still here with us. Kellen, some of the exciting projects that you're looking at. You have 2 books, but you've just given us information to do with the Journey to Wholeness. The other second book, and how can someone find you and the second book as well?
Okay, I've not talked about the second book because I'm working on a second edition of it. But if they come to my website, www.kellenkenlin.com, I can give them an e-copy of that book. It's no longer in print because now I want to publish and print its second edition. Yes.
Okay, any other greater plans that you're looking up ahead, maybe exciting projects?
I do. I have workbooks. They are also on my website. Workbooks are not like filled with so much information. They are like guiding books. I have one on home organization and I also have one on action planning because now, now the year is coming to an end and we are going to reach December, when there are people who have not done the things they said they should have done by December in January. So usually the issue can be that you lack a plan for action. So I have such workbooks. And also my YouTube channel has restarted. Like I told you, when you write, you can broadcast your information in various ways. So you can also follow me on YouTube. I'm trying to try and translate so much of my written content into video content, just to take in the person that is not going to sit there and read, but they still can learn something from the video. Yeah.
Any memorable moment, feedback from a reader? away from them expecting you to have a luxurious kind of life?
Yeah, I think the one thing that usually they tell me is like, wow, this book, I've had so many reviews of it's going to change so many women's lives, and I think that is even helping me push it more. Because like I told you, when I wrote it, I'm like, that topic of relationships, it's so tricky, I don't want it. But yeah, it's good that I had a lady say that it's okay to heal publicly so that other people don't die silently. So I'm glad that in getting vulnerable enough to share my story and my insight and my research, some people are already getting better. At least they won't have to silently go through the things that I had to silently go through because I didn't have a piece of information on that particular aspect. Yes.
Kellen Kenlin Nakai. Yes, this is the book. You can track her down on all our socials and get the right information and how you can, find her and better yourself. Before we let her go, she's going to share more of her socials. That is the book, Journey to Wholeness. And it's very exciting for the young women out there who see marriage as the ultimate achievement in life. You need to get this for yourself. The information is also still, so can they find this in any other bookstore or maybe
yes.
on your socials?
No, it's also in Uganda Bookshop and Mukono Bookshop. So far, if you're around town in Kampala, those bookshops are around Workers' House. Yeah. So those two bookshops are selling the book. You can pick it from there. Other than that, it's on my website and you can pay online actually. I've already incorporated payment solutions, so you can pay online. I will get the message, then I'll just deliver the book same day. Yeah.
Okay. Let's support each other, lift a young sister out there. Abachala buli mwina kwata ku munne ku mukono. Mulembe gwa abachala tulina okukola. Oyina kisapatu wali kyenda bakirabika bulungi. Omukyalo ono Betty nga tetunnamuleka kugenda. Abadde akyalina ebinyirira.
Nti engeri gye tukola ebintu byaffe bino ne finishing nebeera ya machine ekyalaani tukola n'engatto. Ti obukoba buno era bwakaveera deni ene mabega. Ne tukola sole na ya mpira gwa mmotoka.
Byawano waka bintu
byaffe byawano
si ate kanimala okulinnya ennyonyi ngende embinoonyi.
Nedda. Bintu byaffe byawano. Nti tugezaako nnyo okulaba nti ebyonoono obutonde ate ffe tubifuula ekyomugaso.
Abakyala bajja gy'oli okuyiga bino ebintu eby'enjawulo eby'emikono, buzibu ki bw'obadde olaba nti kino kyekibadde kituzze emabega nga ffe abakyala?
Ekituzze emabega kuba waliwo abakyala be nasomesaako eyo emakindye naye Mukama yanyamba nti yansako feva nti buli mukyala abantu bensomesa kabe baana bayiga. Naye we forward ebeera nti akatale katutuyize ebintu bibino tubikola naye tubitundewa. Era nze mbagamba kimu tandikira ku neighbor gwoba otandikirako. Then ebisigadde tujja kuba tulaba engeri gye tubikolamu ne mwe muluka ebintu mbeere nabyo. Nze bwe binaabiweze mumbuulire wenfunira market mbamba kubirako ne mbagamba ne mujja. Good enough nti batera otuyita mu myoleso. Tutera nnyo okubeera mu myoleso egyo. We mbayitya ne mbagamba buli ayina ebintu bye yaluka aleete tugende mu mwoleso. Naye ng'obuzibu bwe tulina bwa marketing. Nti abantu tebanabimanya nnyo. Ono neighbor wakirabye n'akyegomba yaggulako. Bw'oba ogenze mu myoleso ng'egyo abantu buli omu n'abiraba ne yeewuunya abayinamu akasente n'agula bwe tutyo. Naye ng'okusinga ffe aba kampuni ya Pipeline babitugulako nnyo.
Abaami babakwatiddeko ng'ovudde ku kitongole ekyo kibakwatiddeko ne kibafunira akatale. Abaami babayambye kuba mu bitundu egyo mubeera mufunye obuyambi bw'enjawulo oba mulya tebabitegeera?
Abantu ebintu babiraba era babyegomba naye abantu baavu. Bambi abaami bo kye bagezaako kusindika bakyala baabwe n'abaana. Kuba ne mu holiday omwo mbeeramu bit bize nti omuzadde akuyita n'agamba jangu nsomeseza abaana bange kifo ky'abaana okudda mu kuzannya oba amaliriza emirimu n'akubuulira essaawa z'oba olina ogendayo n'ogenda n'osomesa abaana n'agamba kibayambeko okubeera bize kati gwe wano bw'oba ogenzeyo musomesa ebintu bino omubuulira ebirungi ebiri mu bintu bino nti ogenda kuluka akawaletiko okatunde ogenda kuddayo kusomera ng'olina pocket money oleme kusaba daddi oba daddi bw'anaaba akuwadde ojja kuba oyongereza ku ono pocket money olw'akawaletike watunda omwana ateekayo nnyo obwongo okuyiga era ayiga kati ne kituyambako nti buli lwe tugenda mu field ng'ogenza okusomesa omuntu tusooka ne tumunnyonnyola ebirungi ebiri mu kaveera naki kyagenda okufunamu kuba akatale kasookera ku ffe ne kalyoka kasaasaana.
Well, for the viewers still watching and following this episode, few minutes to top of the hour. I'm yet to be kicked out of studio because there is a lot lined up for you, interesting programs for you to enjoy this lovely day. Before we let the ladies go, the ones that have joined us this morning, just a word of encouragement. Maybe that they would love, something they would love to share with you before we let them go. Chiche waliagadde okwogerako n'oyo akulaba essaawa eno nga tetunnakuleka agenda ku mirimu gye.
Mpozi bulijjo ekintu kino nkyegomba era nga ngamba wendifunira chance nemba nga nsobola okutuusa obubaka bwange naye Mukama talyanguza era abatasaba nze mbeewuunya. Kino nali nakisaba dda nga nsaba kuba Honorable wange sijja gamba nti owaffe buli omu alina engeri gyakitwalamu ne Honorable wange Frederick Ruhindi yali former Anthony General yagwa mu kalulu naye nga abantu b'e Nakawa East tubeereddewo nnyo mu buli mbeera era buli ekiba kitugizagizemu nga tudduka Honorable tuyambe abagamba bannange tapu gye nali nsenamu amazzi mwagisiba siina wenzija kasente naye ne tumulemerako n'agamba naakola kimwe bange naye kyembadde nsaba pulezidenti waffe nti atuyambe ab'e Nakawa ffenna tetwagana kuwa Honorable waffe Kalulu naye atuyambe wakiri Honorable waffe amuweeyo ekifo kya minisita kuba musajja mulungi musajja mukozi era amumanyi Frederick Ruhindi amuyamba amuweeyo ekifo. N'ekirala neebaza generali wange ghetto president kuba nze ndi mu bantu ba ghetto nti president wange Buchaman I salute you bino byonna byentuseeko Buchaman ne mama ghetto
abakutteko bulungi munnaye ne mama ghetto
munnaye naffe abantu ba ghetto tetutudde naffe tetutudde kugamba naffe tumuzaamu amaanyi mama ghetto mwagala nnyo kuba muganda wange tweddira omuziro ogwo. Buchaman oyo ye president wange kuba ne muzeeyi we yali amuwa ekifo kya ghetto president twali naye oyo ye wange kuva dda era bambi kino kyakoze okulaba nti atulwanirira ffe aba ghetto kirungi nnyo
mwebale kola
tukola tetutudde era abantu abagamba nti abantu ba ghetto babeera eyo kulinda budde buzibe bagende babbe ekyo balimba ababba be bana bali smart
bakube banne baabwe butayimbwa
omuntu akubba nga ali smart nga tokikkiriza nti oyo mu butuufu asobola okunziba naye abeera smart naye ffe ababeera mu bino gwe balabanga omuyaayi oyo ajja kunnyakulako akasawo kange bana babeera smart be babba era omuntu yenna nga simanyi nakumanya ffe barastafari tetubba ffe tukola emirimu gyaffe
mwebale nnyo kukola mukola omulimu gwa ttendo era ffe twebaza nnyo era tusanyuse nnyo okuba nga tukukyaziza wano ku TV eggwanga National Broadcaster era obubaka bwo butuuse bulungi nnyo kuba omukulembeze munnaye ayinza okuba nga abadde akulaba
abaana babamulabye obubaka
bajja kubutuusa oli watuufu oli waka
kuba wano ndi mu nju.
Before we let Kellen go as well, she has a message she would love to share with the viewer. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think my closing remarks would be educate yourself more than you entertain yourself. And of course, I would say that because our generation is filled with so much easy access to entertainment, but read, we have to kill this culture of Africans don't read. most of the things that are going to help you in life, you're actually going to learn outside of school. I didn't study writing in school. I didn't study, you know, running business online and knowing how to, you know, do payment solutions and stuff in school. I read and I learned those things. And then most importantly, find out the purpose of your life. I feel that that reduces the load because it keeps you in line. It keeps you finding the things that really matter to your journey, because much as we can do all things, you are designed for specific things. So if you can find those things that you're good at, it lessens your load. Tomala budde bwo bungi, tomala amaanyi g'obuvubuka bumangi mu bintu ebitakugasa, kubanga amaanyi tugalina mu buvubuka agayiiya agakola ebintu, but you have to find the right things that are right for you, that you're gifted at. Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful words, great words of encouragement. It's been a lovely episode, and salute to you for making time to join us every morning for this lovely series. The lady Betty there was talking about Mama Butcher. We've hosted her here on the platform before. Obubaka bwaffe omugaye tumutumidde nnyo, tumwagala nnyo, webale nnyo kutukyalirako. Abakyala bonna batulabira ng'ozzeeyo. Thank you, Kellen, for spending time with us. Wish you all the best when it comes to your books.
Thank you.
Please, let's support fellow women. Let's support each other. My name is Sandra Kahunda. Our guests for the day, Betty and Kellen, have been a great inspiration. And we wish you a great week and a blessed day. God bless you. We love you as a national broadcaster.